Hey, what's going on, everyone? For all those who may not know who I am, I'm Reverend Jay. This is my co-host Joy,
Hey guys.
and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. And tonight we are going to be talking about once again some parenting tips, parenting 101, the stuff you will not find in parenting books. But before we begin, I want to introduce some of my guests. My wife Tracy,
Hey.
um, Isaac.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
You got the quiet storm voice on tonight.
got, got that Barry White going on.
Throw some Luther Vandross on. And Saveda, we got Saveda on tonight. What's going on,
How y'all
Saveda?
doing? How y'all doing? Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. See you too.
So, well, I hope everybody had a wonderful day. My day was very long, but definitely uh, prosperous. So today was a good day, like Ice Cube said.
Yes.
Today was a good day. So one of the biggest challenges of parents is that like many people would say that parenting do not come with a handbook or an instruction manual. But at the same time, though, I don't think that's an excuse because you got many other people who have been parents, who are still parents, and have went through the process of raising children. So I believe the best people to get parenting advice from are people who actually have been through the process. So what you think about that, Joy?
I believe that's 100% correct. I believe that you can learn different experience by talking to different parents who have different children, because not all children are the same. So to try to put everything in a book, you're going off of a handful of children when their children are so multifaceted that, if you could talk, my child is not going to be the same as Josh's child and Trey's child and Saveda's child and Mr. Isaac's child. My child is totally different, and all their children are different. So I think you can find get a lot of wisdom from talking to parents.
Yeah. And so, do anyone have thought about that phrase of everybody say, well, parenting don't come with an instruction manual.
It doesn't.
That's very true.
It doesn't. I would tell you that I'm still learning. I don't think that parenting ever is a end. I don't think parenting is ever a end to parenting. You learn something as we naturally evolve. We naturally evolve with our parenting. Even when our children are adults and they move out of our household, you still evolve as you gain new knowledge, and also the wisdom that you have just from life experiences also help.
Because the truth of the matter is, parenting a 9-year-old is different than parenting a teenager, and parenting a teenager is different than parenting someone that's 18. And again, you still, even once they turn 20, 30, 40, you're still parenting, but you parent differently. So as a parent, it's not one of the things where you say, well, they're out of the house, I'm done. But it's a consistent how to keep that relationship going, and keep the lines of communication open. So now the reason one of the great reasons why I wanted to have Saveda on tonight is because she's a parent, and she's a single parent, and she raised 3 kids, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how and most of your children now are like adults now, correct?
Yes, my kids are 22, 31, and 33.
Okay. So I'm sure you can school everybody on this how different stages of parenting from young, teenage, and then now adults.
Well, I don't know if I can school them, but I can tell you about my experience. I can say that my first 2 children, who are boys, were extremely hard. I feel like it was a chemistry test. Like you've never did chemistry before, and you just grabbing here and there to do the best you can, because I I don't want to say teen mom, but I guess I will say teen mom because I had my first child at 12. By the time I was 14, I had two boys.
Mm.
So, and I'm gonna get you, Josh, because this is supposed to be my story on my show.
No,
But,
you actually still, you know what? You actually still our show on Thursday because the very thing you talked about, we was gonna talk about. So
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
that's about another
that
topic.
but yeah, so so I had my children very early. I wasn't like a little hot tail girl, as they say, the older people say, but I came from a background of abuse, alcohol when it comes to, my mom and everything. And it was just a 15-year-old boy in the neighborhood that was, oh my God, he was God gifted little girls, as we thought in eyes. He was just so handsome. And make a long story short, I lost my virginity to him. He told me, you can tell I was 12 years old, 11, 12 years old, didn't know what was going on, because he said, I'll be your boyfriend if you give me some. And me not knowing nothing about sex, a boyfriend, I'm excited. Not knowing at the time that he had four girls pregnant. I'm one of them. So four of us pregnant at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. So today, he has a total of 11 children total now.
11 kids.
So
Wow.
yeah, he has a
Wow.
total of 11 now. My children being one of the older children. But make a long story short, so it was very, 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 very hard during that time, a child raising a child. And I thank God for my sister Patricia. She's my older sister. If it wasn't for her, y'all wouldn't be talking to me right now. Meaning, she stood by my side. She was the babysitter for my children while I finished high school. I lived with her since the age, because my mom kicked me out of the house at 14 years old, me and my children, because she chose her husband over me, which was, and that's a whole nother story. But again, like I said, I came from an abusive background. But raising my boys with my son, I'm very overprotective. If y'all could see last night, Isaac was saying some things like, and Joy said like she forgave her abuser. Girl, I went through so much stuff. That's why I cannot, forgive my abuser. But raising two boys at that time, and my mom saying, "Get out of my house, you and your kids." I with my sister. She finished raising me and my friend. I did not give up at all. So when I hear stories from parents that say I can't do it or they mistreat their children, I feel sometimes my children, I did everything possible to make sure that they were fed and they were safe. They didn't get abused, everything you could possibly think of. I've been working 2 and 3, 4 jobs since the age of 15. First job being McDonald's. So my life right now, it's some nights that I cry but it's out of being thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like I made it. I finally made it. And like with Isaac, it was like a God's gift to me because he sent Isaac to me in my life to say, this is my angel that I'm sending to you. Now is your time to make a life for yourself. Because I put all my kids through college. My daughter will be graduating this December. So I did not give up, but I did put my life on hold in order for my children to have a successful life. Because I did not want them to go through what I went through with my mom. So now at 45 years old, and my children, the age they are, I am just now going to college because I made sure that they got their education first. So it's a struggle. Oh my God, it's a struggle. And then the other end of that, because I've did so much for my kids now that they grown, and like my daughter, she'll call me, she'll be like, "Mom, I got a ticket, girl. That ain't my problem." You 22 years old now.
You figure it out.
Yeah, it's like because I've been a parent parent for so long, and I finally had some freedom, like, because they all growing out the house now. It's like their problems. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's your time to have your own problems. But it was extremely, extremely hard. And cut me off when you can because my story is long. But I remember in high school, not high school, but I remember being pregnant because I got put back in the third grade because I couldn't read.
Oh wow.
I didn't start reading until I was in the sixth grade. And so I remember getting put back in the third grade. So by the time I was pregnant with my first child, I was in the fifth grade. So I was in elementary school. And so the parents, by that time, it was just more white people than anything. But by that time, when they found out I was pregnant, they protested. The parents did. They did not want me in the school. So during my elementary school and middle school, most of the time I was homeschooled. And back then, it wasn't homeschool like it is now. Back then, them teachers was dropping books off and keep it moving. Well, that screwed up a lot of stuff. That hindered a lot of my education and my learning. So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in college now, and when the professors say, "Oh, you learned that in elementary school," no, I didn't, boo, because I was pregnant in elementary school and I was homeschooled. So a lot of the stuff, that's why I tell people, a lot of people don't understand people background and their testimonies and stuff. I have a testimony. And that's a part of the reason why I do not drink.
Let's turn it up for Savita. I mean, you deserve it.
But it's hard out there.
You're called definitely not a survivor, but a thriver, someone who pushed through. Life happens, but you continue going on, and now your children grown and you raise, and now, so that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Don't ever give up. I can tell any parent, even if someone's looking at this tonight and crying and say, I can't do it, you can do it. Trust me. Just put God first, because did nobody get me here but three sources: myself, God, and my sister.
And the good part about it, God sends you people. God sends you people. And but at the same time, when God sends you people, you have to be willing to accept the help from those people.
When he sent Isaac, I was like, okay,
it's my time. Yeah, I have no problem, God. No problem at all. Yes, I accept the help.
Wait a minute, hold on, Savita. What you call your car again? What's your nickname for your car?
Mustang Sally. It ain't even a Mustang.
Listen to this. She packed up Mustang Sally and came right on here with everything she had in Mustang Sally. So,
but Josh, I also want to say I'm so proud of myself as well, because I built my first home from ground up at 26 years old. So my children have always had a nice home over their head. They, and my sister that I was telling you guys about, when I decided to move to Dallas, my daughter played AAU ball. I guess that's how you said it. She was great at basketball. She's actually right now, she's the basketball president of Prairie View University.
Oh, wow.
I gave the home that I built at 26 years old to my sister that helped raise me when I was 14. That kept my kids why I went to school, because I didn't have money at that time, but that was my way of saying I appreciate you being there for me when my mom was not.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Beautiful. Wow.
So it happened a couple of weeks ago. We asked some of I put a post on Facebook saying give us your best parenting advice, and some of our Facebook friends shared some different things. One person said, Taisha Young said, prayer, open conversation, even if you don't like what they have to say, listen. Always let them know you will always have their backs if they tell the truth. Something else. Be their first example of discipleship. Then help them know God for themselves. Let them know what is sacrifice. I'll put that. What you got to think about that? Any comments on that?
That's a great advice. I often think about my children, because I'm like, it's Savita. My daughter was raised one way and my son was raised a completely different way, due to my daughter being prior to marriage and my son come from while I'm married. So, but but watch this. So I'm going to expose myself just a little bit to those comments. My son got well, he has tools that my daughter don't have. Why? Because the fact that he was actually in the house full time, where my daughter came on weekends, and then of course being in the military when I was stationed overseas and stuff like that. So it was a disconnect there, right? So my son got to experience that. Well, he has to experience me 24/7, right? So it's like now that all the tools that he was given as a child, he now has to institute those and use them as an adult, whether he chooses to use them or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so what I find hard, and this is where Saveda has to remind me of, and I often tell her, that you've been a parent longer than I have, so whatever wisdom that you have, I will listen to you. So the disconnect now is, how did you have your child to move out the house and then they start living their own life, and it's like, and you call them and they don't answer. You call them and they don't answer. You text them and you don't answer, and then it go weeks and months, and you're like, I know I done called this joker and they haven't answered me yet. So, so now. And it's funny because I find it challenging because there are things that my son will refuse to even talk to me about, and I have to laugh at it. But now he's gotten to the point to where he doesn't talk to me or he talked to his mom, right? So for me as a parent, and this is what I talked about, how that your parenting never ceases and it always evolves. I have to, I have to learn how to let him go and to live his life. And then I also had to think about, what was I doing at his age? Was I calling my parents? And then as I thought about it, shucks, I went months, almost a whole year. I think one year, that I went almost an entire year without even calling my parents because I was living my life, right? So I had to remind myself of things that I did when I was his same age. I had to remind myself that. And I think that's key. So watch this. Even now, as being a child to my parents are sharing things to me now that I never knew that was happening to them or that was going on, that was fearful for them. And even being 50 plus years old, I am amazed at what I'm learning about my parents with things that they're sharing me now. So that's the reason why I say that your parenting never ceases. It only evolves as you gain more knowledge.
That's good. That's good. I agree. So Joy, what is like for you, Joy? What is like? I know you had now Angelica, she's like a grown woman in college.
Yeah, that's my little baby.
Making no dollars. So what is
she
like?
makes some money. That little girl stacks, okay? She stacks. I'm looking at her and kind of like, girl, you stacking like that? Okay. All right. I might come
Can I borrow $1
for a loan one day. Keep stacking. But well, the good thing about, because I had my daughter at 16, and we were able to kind of like grow up together. So now that she's older, even though I'm her mom, it's also like I'm like her sister in a way.
Okay.
So we have I've always kept the lines of communication open to her. Even when she was young, I used to tell her, boo, as long as you tell me the truth, you'll never get in trouble. I will never beat you if you tell me the truth. Now you lie.
Now you get a beating.
Now you'll get a beating because now you see here lying and trying to play me. But as long as you were going to be honest and truthful about it, we'll sit down and have a conversation. And most people who know my daughter's very honest. You could ask her, she's going to tell you the truth. She's not going to lie. Even sometimes I be telling her like, bro, you could have curved that. But Angelica just doesn't believe in lying because that's not the type of household that I wanted her to grow up in. And she never received any backlash for telling the truth. So I think her thing is, well, why not tell the truth? Because that's the best route to go. Now she needs to eventually she'll find that out on her own. That sometimes you might need to curve a story or something, because you can't just be out here telling everybody the 100% truth. But until then, my baby's gonna be honest.
Yeah.
But I believe in keeping those lines open, the lines of communication open, letting them know that, making them feel like I can come to you about anything. And she can come to me about anything, even if I don't like it. I've learned the art of, even if she tell me something I don't like, not to show it on my face, not to, be like, oh, you doing that? Well, I'm not going to do this for you no more. No, you want to come and you want to talk to me? Oh, okay. Why do you feel that way? Like, keep it open, open lines of communication, so that kids can feel comfortable coming to you. Because I know a lot of times parents are like, oh, no, you come to me. And the moment you go to them, boy,
they flip out.
Yep, they flip out. What you mean? I can't believe you did. You like, you know what? This is gonna be last time we had this conversation. No problem.
Well, you were right about that, because I have children. I remember I flew out here in I think it was in 2018 or 19, whenever it was. I think she was a freshman in college. Freshman in college or sophomore in college, and I get this phone call at 4:00 in the morning, and and this is what I hear, y'all. As much as I fought so hard to make sure my children were good, this is what I hear on the other end. Mama, I'm tipsy. Well, let me tell y'all something. I flew the cuckoo nest. Do you hear me?
Really?
Oh, I did.
Did she? I had to calm her down.
I was in the background and I cussed him out. I said some bad words, and
she said them bad words, and I said, hold on. Hey, I had to tell her. I said, Saveda, hold on. I said, she called you. Listen, you don't need to blow up right now. You just need to stay calm.
All right.
Let me tell y'all something. Because I know y'all have children, so y'all understand. When you work your butt off to make sure they don't have to go through what you went through if you grew up in a bad situation, everything that flashed before me was, because my mom is a recovering alcoholic. She's not here now, but the disease runs through my family, and that's why I choose not to drink. I've never drank or did drugs. So when she called me with that, I wanted to fight the people that she was with, and I wanted to fight her.
I'm finna get on the plane right now, and I'm coming to beat your beep. I'm like, hey, and it's funny because I'm sitting on the other side of the sofa, and I'm looking. I'm like, because I'm like, what's going on? And then she put it on our speakerphone, and I could hear the slurredness. And I said, so then I started saying, Saveda, hold on, just calm down. There's no need to be upset. And I said, she's living life. Just let her live her life right now. But you need to listen. Just let her talk. Whatever it is that she need to say, just let her say it.
Isaac and I have a different parenting style. When I got a phone with my daughter, Isaac goes, you want to go shopping at Walmart? It's 4:00 in the morning. No, do I want to shop at Walmart? No, I do not.
No, but no, I had to calm her down because we can make a not so panic moment extremely panic when it didn't need to be there, and if the person is calling you, and even though that they are tipsy, but you're able to communicate with them, just communicate with them. No matter what's going on, you just need to communicate with them just to know that they are still safe. And that is what I was trying to say to her. And so then she said, so Saveda came and said, well, I'm glad that somebody in the house was sensible, because I was about to tear it up.
Years later, but to this day, I'm still hotter than fish grease at that moment. But we talk about, she does not like to be teased about it. Her brother, my oldest son, he'll say, hey, tipsy. It's a joke now, but at that moment, I was just so crazy. It's like, who raised you? Like, you did not learn that in my household. We don't do drugs and alcohol. You know what I'm saying? But She learned her lesson. She said she'll never do it again.
Yes.
Oh, well,
So
she
you
never
don't want
call
your
you again
child
once you
drinking
drunk.
ever again?
Yeah, exactly, Josh, exactly.
What did you say, Josh?
I said she'll never
Look,
call you again when she's drunk.
Hey.
The next time she gets drunk, she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not calling that number."
Nope.
Can't
You
call
know,
mine.
she told me she's gonna call her dad.
But no, I agree. I think again, as parents, sometimes we do overreact. Because again, you want sometimes when that child does something, you can say, "Oh, don't do that," because it can take you down a certain road. But sometimes they sometimes must learn their own life and make some crazy decisions like we did growing up. I think somebody made a comment that says remember your child will make mistakes just like you did.
You made it. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and that's why I'm kind of like I'm like worried about, because I could be sometimes like I'm the type of person I can push the envelope.
What you mean?
I'm a type of person that if I see a line, I will.
You gonna cross it?
I may not cross it, but I'm gonna like get close enough to it.
Oh, you one of those people?
I'm the type of person that said curiosity killed the cat. Give an example. When I used to be home, hope my dad's not watching.
Just go ahead. He can't beat you no more.
You're a grown man now.
So it's all good.
He called me Look at this. When I was growing up, I used to take the car and taught myself how to drive a stick shift, because we had a car in the driveway that was a stick. So I used to like bag the car out and drive around the block. I didn't have a license. I did just testing out, but I've always been that kind of kid. I remember one time I lit a garbage can on fire.
Oh Lord.
Oh wow.
I guess I just want to see what
Crazy. What did you think was gonna happen? We in the middle of the hood.
At the time, we was living in Jersey City in like an apartment, so
Oh, I didn't.
Lit a garbage can on fire.
So
Josh, you have a son, right?
excuse me.
You guys have a son, right?
Yes.
We do have a son, and I would say when I was a kid, I was curious, but nowhere near as Josh's stories. So I would say our son Joshua, he's like not quite out there, you know what I mean? But he's only 9, so we have a little more time.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Oh,
Well, I don't know how you
She's
were
coming.
at 9, Josh, but I don't think Josh is that little Josh. I don't think he's that like curious. yet.
Josh was crazy at 9.
Oh my
Okay, so our Joshua is not crazy at 9. I wasn't crazy at 9, so I don't know.
I wasn't crazy. I was curious.
you were mischievous.
Oh, my
Mischievous
God.
is the
No,
is the proper word,
no,
huh?
I wasn't mischievous. I was just curious. I'm the type of person that says, let's see. Like again, and that's one of the things about me. I'm not scared to try something out. I said, oh, let's try it out. Let's try this
So
out.
he from the show me state.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell me
Yeah.
yeah.
I
You know,
remember,
Hey, I had to bite my own words because last year in October, we were in Houston, and my son came down to Houston. He actually drove from where he lives to actually come down to Houston to actually see me, and he brought his girlfriend with him, right? Well, which is now his current wife. So,
Okay.
so,
oh, y'all think my story about the I'm tipsy
so,
is bad? Yeah, that story.
so look, watch this, right? Okay. So you know how? So I think everybody on here know that when you going to meet somebody's parents for the very first time, you gotta make sure that your shoulders back. You gotta make sure that you greet the parents properly, right? Because you want to make that first time
A good
good
first
impression, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he came to the house, I was looking out the door and I was like, "Who is this with my son?" I said, "This Nero got this chick with him," right? That's what I said before I went outside. So then I went outside to actually greet them, and she didn't want to shake my hand. She gave me like the 2-finger shake,
Oh wow.
like the little 2-finger shake like this. And so her actions caused my reaction to my son.
Mm.
Now, I shared this with Saveda now, hindsight. I said, I think IJ probably was coming to tell me that he wanted to marry her, right?
Mm.
So I was checking out his car because he got this BMW, and I was checking it out. And when I looked inside the car, I'm like, this is a whole playpen. Like, dude, you got a whole family that's living up in here. What's all this? Got baby toys,
Oh, but
and then like you got like the whole car looks like a daggone daycare. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, bruh, what's going on here? Like, why your car is looking like it's an entire daycare? Like, I'm talking about from the inside the car all the way to the trunk is like a whole daycare. I'm like, dude, what's going on here? So what I did not know at the time that him and his girlfriend were living together, and I really think
Oh.
that he was coming to me to tell me that he was there's a possibility he probably was coming to me and said, Dad, I want to marry her. What do you think?
Mm.
But because of her action created a reaction, and I was like, and she ain't the one. I don't know who you think that she is, but that ain't the one. Like
You did not
Savannah
say
didn't see
that.
none of this. So it was me and my son outside, and we were sitting in his car. I'm going ham. When I say I'm going ham, I'm going ham.
But you were
all
calm for
the way in.
Saveda's story.
Right. So, and I'm going all the way in about this woman that he's in love with. So, oh my God. So, but anyway, and watch this. And so while I was outside the house, Saveda was in the house, and the girl didn't want to say nothing. When I say she didn't want to say nothing, she has to turn her back to everybody.
Really?
You know? Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, she
didn't.
turned her back to everybody. She didn't want to say nothing.
Mm.
So I had to eat my words. But to me, when I now think back on it, because of his disappointment of how I reacted when I first met her, he doesn't say anything about her now.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And
What, is she
and
still
watch
rude?
this. Huh?
Is she still rude?
Well,
I don't
his
think
mom his mom went and met her, and she said she is really shy, but she did open up to me once, once that she was around me a day or so, she did open up to me, and then she said that she really loves Isaac, like she really loves our son. I said, okay, cool. But Saveda, the same person that I went off on about her daughter, like, hey, calm down, did the same thing back to me.
Mm.
I had to calm him down, and it's still a rough edge. But one of the things I told Isaac, I said, you have, because Isaac loves me and my children relationship, because we talk several times a day, several times a week.
Oh wow.
We're on the phone daily.
I can't even get the brother and sister to even text each other and say happy birthday.
Oh, Lord.
He's talking about his children. Now,
I'm talking about my children. I can't get them jokers. Hey, we got a whole family text message. It'd be just me in there texting.
yeah, his me and my children, we have a great relationship. There's each time that we talk to each other is I love you or I love you too situation. Matter of fact, my oldest son, he stated once he graduated from college, once he gets the job, he will be surprising me with what? He's 33 with no kids and support himself. He do what he want to do.
He doing
But wow. Hey, I think he's a daggone vampire because the dude don't sleep.
He is not, but wow, he just a character. He's been a character. He's been a joker since he was a child.
He should be on stage right now.
What I was getting ready to say, I think it started in 2017. I have been going on a trip every year for Mother's Day. It might not be in May, but it's every year according to how I can get off, how he can get off. So it started with California. It started with California, then Jamaica, then Costa Rica, and then this past year was Hawaii. So all the vacation trips that I just named, and then I'll be going to Africa in January. So
wow.
These are gifts from my son saying that I appreciate you for raising me, because you could have aborted me. You
Mm.
could have been a bad mom because I had them so early.
Mm.
Said, but you did it, Mom. You know, and I love you for that. Because my mom tried to get an abortion.
Mm.
But back then she did, back then she didn't know anything about abortion. We had to go to a whole nother state and all that. So she didn't know anything about that. But I remember running away when I was pregnant with my son because I did not want an abortion because for me, even though I didn't know a lot about sex, I knew what love was. We all have that feeling in our heart that the way we're being mistreated or the way we're being loved. And so for me, that was a protection. My son, I have finally got something that will love me and I will love my child. So I did everything I could, like run away and everything in order to not get an abortion. And so to this day, he is so grateful for that. And so the way he's been rewarding me is he's been sending me on vacation each year.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
I have some awesome kids. Don't get me wrong. They're not perfect, especially that middle child of mine. Like, oh, Jesus, pray for me, God. That's why I cuss a lot. That's why I cuss a lot. My middle child lives in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
She was about to say something else right then.
I just want to tell parents who have younger children, pray for them, because this society now influence our children so much. Now, my middle child is named Dan, and his birth name is Cordaniels. So I dropped my son off at college his freshman year. I pick him up for the summer. He comes back out twitching. Now, Jesus, and y'all wonder why I be cussing on my show.
And change his name.
So back then, that was some years ago. Back then, let me put it like this. On our way home, it was quiet in the car. I didn't say anything. Because I was shocked. And I remember praying to God for so many years, please don't let that gay gene hit my children.
Yeah.
I mean, I prayed till my kneecaps fell off, I felt like. Because it was so deep in our family. Like, I was like, like everybody is gay in our family tree.
But did you ever see any traits of him being like having any feminine traits or?
So now that we are at peace with his life, we can talk about it and laugh about it now. But growing up, he didn't twitch. He didn't try to put on makeup. He didn't do none of that. There wasn't a twitch in his system. But all of a sudden, I guess because he got of age, was considered grown, I guess he felt like, well, you can't whoop me now. I'm grown, so I'm coming out the closet. But
you never knew he was in a closet? Because most parents
never.
But like, no, I seen it. I knew it when he was like 5 or 6. I seen it.
No, ma'am. And to this day, my son says, I already knew he was gay.
See, so how could he have known?
My other son states that he said, because that's why I started sleeping in the room with him. He was doing weird stuff. I see him doing weird stuff, not to him, but I guess because he said when you go to work, Mom, because I worked overnight, he said when you go to work, Dan be in your room in your shoes and your heels. Oh, like, what? Now that they're grown, he's telling me all this. But growing up, I didn't see anything. However, there's a home video that my son sent me since I've been living here. He was like, you see this video right here? You should have seen that video that he was going to be gay. I was like, what? But I brought that story up because, like I said, I didn't bring anyone inside the home that he could get that from, if it makes sense. Even though it was deep in our family, there were, how men these days, you can't really tell if a man is gay because they're not as flamboyant as they used to be. Like our gay men in our family, if I showed them, if they was on the show tonight, you wouldn't be able to know that they were gay. So there's nobody, that was showing him how to be gay. So I guess he learned it from friends or whatever. And I used to say, I didn't understand it because he always had girls that came over, because he ran track. So the girls would come over and stuff. And now he tells me that he's grown. He's
That's
like,
the front.
I would just learn it from the girls. You know, I was just running from the girls. I didn't want none of them. And I was just so dumbfounded. But I say that to say this right here. I was so hurt. I was so devastated because we always plan how we want our children to come out. You know, how many grandkids we want, and all that kind of stuff. He ain't got no plans to be have me no grandkids. But it took me some time. It took a lot of prayer and everything. And so now he is now transgender. Now that almost took me to the upper room. And I'll tell you why. It almost took me out because for me, I feel like he was trying to kill what I'd created. Like you take it like you're taking your name for 20 some years, because he's been Nia now. He's Nia now. So for 20 some years at that time before he changed his name, I've been calling you Dan. And so now he would get, at that time he would get angry if I'd be like, Dan, can you do X, Y, Z? That's not my name. And so that crushed me because now I feel like you're taking everything that I created. So you taking your name, you have boobies now. You know, he lived his life as a woman.
Oh wow.
But that and for years I was like, what the heck did I do? You know, like, and so finally he told me, he said, you didn't do anything. He said, I felt like this since I was a child. He said, I felt like this since I was old enough to know that a girl and boy supposed to go together. He said, but like when I would be at school, I didn't like the girls. I liked to chase the boys, even in elementary school. So you know how we as family, friends, adults say, oh, they too young to know what they want. Well, if you think about it, as he told me, at what age did you discover that you liked the boys? And he said that's how he was. He discovered when people were like girls, he would like boys. And I asked him, I said, did anybody molest you? You know, did anybody touch you? What happened? He's like, no. He said, I just never liked girls. I've always liked boys. So but now today he's 31 years old. He lives on his own. I love him. We have great conversation. He calls me at least once a week to see how I'm doing. So I'm proud of him. I love him, and I just want him to be him. Like I told him, you know, that's between you and God. I'm not the one to judge. But I told this story because when people are raising young boys or young girls, you can't beat the gay out of them. If they're gonna be gay, they're gonna be gay. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Because I thought like not talking to him or being upset with him would get him to change. Even as a young adult, it did not do nothing but create chaos. So, but I love my child today for who he is. And so people that you think your child is gay, I'm not saying. I don't know. I will say this. I don't believe young children like Dwayne Wade. What's his name? Dwayne
Wade, yeah.
That's ludicrous. I don't agree with that. I feel like when it comes to the brain, you know, our brain are not fully developed until a certain age. So I feel like because my son was grown at the time, there's nothing really I can do.
So I talk about that more. So when parenting, you know, at what point do you let your children start making decisions for themselves? Because I think me personally, I don't believe in that. I believe it's my job to tell my child, you know, as long as you live in my house.
Well, that's the thing, Jai. See, he wasn't no longer living in my home.
I know that, but I'm just saying that. I'm like parents. So
no, you're talking about the Dwayne Wade.
And this time of age, parents, we just allow children to make all the decisions for themselves.
All the decisions.
There's children who tell their parents, oh, I feel like a girl, I feel like a boy. They take them to the doctor and they get them on hormones and all this other stuff to start their transition.
I am like this.
This is my thought process. My job as a parent is to raise my child the best way I think I know how. So it's just like it. I don't care how you feel.
Yep.
I
Um,
agree. It's
now,
only
now,
one
Josh,
to
Josh, I
Yeah.
100% agree to that. When you are in my house, you're gonna do what I require for you to do because it's my house.
yeah,
I am the head of this household. I am the man of this household, and it's not about that. It is about that you will abide by the rules that are in my household. No different that me being a guest of your house. I have to abide by the rules that you set for your house.
yeah,
If you say take your shoes off at the front door, that's exactly what I got to do. Take my shoes off. So I don't believe in the idea of allowing a child to tell me as the parent what to do. I can hear you.
Mhm.
I can allow you to voice your opinion. I can do all of that. And then I can say, great, I hear you, I understand. But there are certain decisions that you cannot make until you leave this house.
yeah,
That's right.
And that is one of those decisions. And people say, well, you're stifling your child. No, I want my child to have a long thought out process
yeah,
of this life decision that they are about that they are about to make. And I agree with Saveda is that I think his son was 8 or 9 years old when he said that he are no longer going to be a boy, and to me,
Too
and
young.
you haven't even experienced life yet.
yeah,
Matter of fact, you ain't even done life. And then
yeah,
to
yeah.
be
It started.
honest, and being honest, because of who your father is,
Yeah,
and who is you, and due to your stepmother,
Mm-hmm.
or your bonus mother, you live a life of roses
in a bubble.
in in a bubble. You live a life where everything surrounding you is the best.
Yes.
So, uh, so, no, I'm not going to allow a child that age to make decisions for themselves. That is a life altering decision. You will make that decision when you're 18 and when you're no longer living inside of my household. But as long as you're living in my household, I don't care how old you are. As long as you're living in my household, these are the rules that you will abide by in my house.
I want to
And
wife
I
too.
think also
What
too,
are your
whatever
thoughts
a
here?
kid is feeling, I think also what a kid is feeling at that time, it could change. You might feel like girly or what have you, but as you get older, things change. Even like girls who are tomboys, maybe like 8, 10, 12, 16, they're a tomboy, and then one day they want to be all girly. So I think with the hormones and so forth, I don't think that a parent should have their kid do that. Now, once they get grown, then fine. I'm even to go as far as saying tattoos. In my opinion, if my son wants a tattoo, you're going to be like, when you're 18, not when you're 10, or I'm not sure how legal, what age it is, but still everything that we tell him to do, you're going to do. If he wants to put on blue sneakers, but we want him to put on red sneakers, you're going to put on red sneakers. So
You're not
the
tripping
same
here.
with that,
To me, at that age, which my parents, they told me what to wear. They bought it. They told me what to wear. They told me how to live. They told me what to eat, and I'm grateful for it because, I think again, at 10, 15, you just don't know. At 25, I'm like, I was still changing like the wind. At 40, I'm still feeling like, wait, oh, So I think sometimes and that can be the reason why we're dealing with so much teen suicide, because they're taking so much responsibility of making decisions of things
And
that
should not to make them, yeah.
Right now. I'm your guide. I'm here to teach you the best way I think you should live. Trust me, I live a little bit, so trust me. I have a little bit of guidance.
Yeah,
But
but
what
you
if
know
you're
what,
a
Josh?
child?
That's part of me accepting my child for who he is, because back then when he came out, I was working for American Addiction Center,
Mhm.
as well as mental health, and a lot of my clientele that was coming in were young adults trying to commit suicide through drug use because their parents did not accept them for whatever reason. A lot of the young men that came in that tried to commit suicide, majority of them was due to their parents not accepting them as being gay. They were kicking them out the house and so on. So for me, I did pray about it, but for
Mhm.
me, I wanted my child to still know that I loved him and I support him And I would rather have a child live his life healthy than to commit suicide because he feel like I don't love him because
Well, look at this. Listen, I think this is different. Again. I would tell my child, today until you start leaving my house, the same thing I was told. You can do whatever you want to do when you are out the house. But again, if you get a house, and that's why I left my house when my dad said.
Would you accept your son if your son was like, Dad, I'm gonna turn around and my name gonna be Sasha?
I accept them. Again, I would accept them, but you would not live that lifestyle in my house, though. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I
Would you go to
agree.
his
Exactly.
house?
I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're 50.
You know,
would not. Like,
you know,
Yeah.
if there's somebody, I don't care if it's a sibling. You come to the house, but none of that stuff be going on in my house.
exactly.
Why?
You know, Josh.
Than the child.
Say again?
Huh?
A sibling is different than your child because
Well, yeah,
sibling,
no, I'm saying the same guidelines I would have for a sibling, it'd be same guidelines I have for a child. You can do whatever you want as long as you do it outside of my house.
but would you accept him?
I would accept them. Yes, I accept them.
Yes.
I accept them, but at the same time, though, my acceptance don't mean me allowing him to be active. Look, this acceptance does not mean I have to allow him to act the way he want to act.
Mm-hmm.
You could look.
But what I'm saying is, you gotta understand. See, I think
Look. I'll give you an example. My parents accepted me, but they would not allow me to be a criminal either.
Right. Watch this. Hey, I got one even better for you. I am more than a half a century old. I cannot bring a woman that I'm dating to stay the night at my parents' house.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't either. We can stay in the same room.
So
I tried it.
exactly. So like she could come, but they gonna sleep in a whole nother room, and I'm gonna be
Right.
in a whole nother room. So to keep the weirdness from even happening, I just get a hotel room.
Yeah, well, and I'm saying the other thing. I think parenting we get this mixed up. We say, well, if I want to accept them, I must now allow them to do what they want.
no, but you go.
no.
What I'm saying is that for people who are homosexuals, they just like your dad and mom told you not to have sex, right?
We did it.
You had sex. You found a way.
But I didn't. They ain't know about it though. They ain't know about it.
And that's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. Those homosexual children
And
don't think they're not doing things to.
I understand it.
right, but look, we didn't bring it.
Don't do it in my house.
Back to the house.
Don't do it in my
Yes.
house. Don't do it in my house. And the problem is this, that we're letting the reason why children are saying I want to commit suicide because they think that if the only way for us to love them is for them to allow them to do what they want to do. No, that's not the
Agreed,
way. That,
Josh.
no.
Right,
we can
right.
love you, but we do not have to allow you to live the way you want to live. As
long as I'm paying the bills,
Right.
as long as I'm putting money into your pocket,
Yes.
as long as, and if you have a car, as long as that I'm paying the gas in the car, the insurance, and the car note for the car, you have to abide by my rules.
Yes. Now again, if you don't like when I got tired of when I didn't want to abide by my parents' rules, guess what? I left. My dad I got the military, right? I came back home and I was just chilling. Right. Then I started dating Tracy, right? My wife. And then all of a sudden, my dad said, "Well, he started putting some rules, and they didn't want to pay rent." I said, "It's time for me to go." There's no way I'm paying rent and got to follow by somebody else's rules. Somebody she got to be gone by 10 o'clock. That's not happening.
Tracy, did you know that, Tracy?
Oh, I knew a little bit of the story. Yes.
and she knew I got my own place.
Yep. He sure did.
Wow.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's my dad's house. He get to set the rules, and again, and he loves me, but again, he does not. His love does not mean that he had to accept the way I want to live in his house. And we need to let our
But I
children.
don't think that the children that are homosexual not understand that there's rules because anybody. Well, let me not say that because some kids don't have rules, but you should, as a child, understand rules and learn how to abide by them because in society there are rules that we all have to abide
But
by.
today's society is now telling and instructing our children to challenge the parents and to challenge them to explain why. I have no issue with explaining why, but just because that I explain it, don't mean that I'm gonna change or I'm gonna be into what your desire would I like to be. No, I will explain it. I'm the parent.
Yeah.
That is my explanation. But if you want to go deeper, it is because of the fact that I pay every single thing inside this house, and this is what I will allow in my house. Now, because I am a minister, if you want me to take it there, I can take it scripturally too. You know, where the Bible says that a man should not lay with another man, and a woman should not lay with another woman. So, if you really want me to go there, but I'm not. I'm just trying to be the parent right now, and because this is my household and this is what I believe in, and not saying that we believe differently. It's just the fact that the lifestyle that you are choosing is not acceptable in my house as long as you are an adolescent teenager living under this
Or an
roof.
adult.
Now,
But
If
what I'm
you're
saying,
if
what
you're
I'm
adult,
asking you guys,
still in my house,
Virgo,
I still get to make the rules.
but what I'm asking is
In my
that,
house.
okay, say your child becomes an adult, because I know people who have gotten married to a person of the same sex, and
Mhm.
some of their family didn't go to the wedding because they're like, I don't believe in that.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying is
I ain't
that
going.
where
I ain't going.
you know.
I'm-
So Josh,
I will
Josh
go.
said,
I ain't going.
if
Well, I
Josh,
have-
Why?
have
Why
a-
not? Why not,
Oh,
Josh?
go ahead.
Like again, I don't have to accept your lifestyle. I love you. But if my son go to jail, I'm not going to jail with you. I'm not spending my time. Don't ask me to come. If I'm telling you,
Well, I'm
I'll
going
tell my
to visit
child.
my son. I would
I'll
visit
tell
him.
my son now. I'll tell him now.
like, you ain't gonna
You,
not be there.
I did not
Oh, yeah.
raise you to be a criminal. I break my neck to make sure you have everything you need. If you go out there and start committing crimes and get locked up, I am not wasting my time to come visit you. And likewise, again, I don't have to accept your lifestyle. And,
All right,
and
what about
Agreed.
you?
You know,
What
you
about
know,
you,
Josh.
Isaac? Would you go to one of your children became a homosexual? Would you go to the wedding if they're like, I'm getting married to?
Well, my daughter is bi, so I already know that, and I know
But
that
she
she's
may not
already.
get married to a woman though.
I will say this: will I support
the-
my child if either one of them
At the
Um,
wedding.
were at the wedding? Yes, I would support them. But even though that I'm supporting them, they will know that it's not acceptance for me because I understand that's not God's best for you. So I will go because of the love I have for my child, not out of acceptance. And I know that some people say that if you go, then that means that you are approving of it. No, I will say not when it comes to your child, because what you are showing your child is unconditional love. That is what's more. That's what's more important. And I can let my child know I'm coming because I love you, not because I agree with what you're doing.
Right.
Right.
And, and that's the portion that I can make clear. And I've had friends. Matter of fact, I was going to be in a wedding of one of my female friends that is a lesbian. But the wedding got all called off, and she asked me to be in the wedding, and I was going to be in the wedding, and I told her that I will only do this wedding. I'll only be in the wedding with you because of the fact that because of our bond and our friendship, and out of that because I love you because of that, not because of the fact that I agree with this. And I just took it as an honor that she respected me enough to ask me to be in her wedding.
Right.
And I can tell y'all this. I can talk about it now, but he's 31 now, so this was years ago. It took me some years to get to where I'm at today.
So would you go to the wedding?
Yeah. I'm so over that now. Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
I'm not going.
Passing out brochures, whatever they pass out at the wedding.
I'm not going.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to allow hatred in my heart to keep me from getting my blessing.
I want to hit
Like
him.
he's 31
I'm just not
years
going.
old, and he
What would
doesn't
Jesus
live
do?
with me. He doesn't live with me either.
Jesus
So
do what
I
he wanna
can talk
do.
about it. I can say this: my children, after my children graduated from college,
I'm not
they
Jesus.
got their own
I'm not-
place. So, what you say, Josh?
I think what would Jesus do? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm not Jesus. So
Johnson, I'm not Jesus.
That's so silly.
It's different. It's a different ball game if I'm dealing with somebody Dwayne Wade's child age. Like
Right.
I'll be in my feelings right now. I know
Mhm.
Rev is a pastor. I probably be cussing on your show right now if it was my 9-year-old child.
You know, hey,
What about
I
you,
just
Trey,
look.
man? Trey, would you go to the wedding?
I agree with Minister Isaac said. I wouldn't agree with it, but I would go like unconditional love. You know what I mean? Because my
Okay.
son is only 9, so he's done silly 9-year-old things, but it's still unconditional love coming from a mother. But I would not agree with it, but I would still go. I don't know, even like jail or
Look at this.
whatever it is. I would
They be
just
having
feel
reality
like
shows.
wrong of not going. You know what I mean?
They be having
Supporting.
reality shows where the parents don't agree with that lifestyle and they want the parents to break down. Let me tell you, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going.
I will
I'm not
say
gonna break
this,
down. I'm not gonna
Josh.
change my mind. I'm not going.
Josh, now this is what I do agree with you on,
I
Josh.
won't cry about it. I won't.
You ain't lying, Josh.
I'll find
I'm
something
definitely
else
not
to
crying about it. You can hang that up. But hey, Josh, but you know, I can agree with you on this. If you do something to cause yourself to go to jail, then I am not coming to see you. And
Yeah.
both of my children know that. But however, if you're there because of self-defense, because
yeah.
of something, there's
Tell
something
them
that was
story.
beyond, you know, something that you had to react to that was because you were in the right place, but the wrong thing happened at the right place. Now I will come and see you for that. I even would try to bail you out if those are those circumstances.
Right.
But you going out and doing something mischievous and then expect me to.
Have
Yeah,
y'all-
I know. Look,
See
look,
those
look,
shows on like
look,
Dateline
look.
in 2020 where the people are like serial killers and so forth like that. And the mother, well, usually it's the mothers, but the mothers are like weeping. Oh, Johnny, you know, he's my favorite kid, you know.
'Cause
And
they
a lot
still-
of them still go, you know. Because
No, I'm like, no, look. I'm like, hey, lock him up. Lock him up.
Lock him up.
I'm like, hey, he's a danger to society. I'm sorry. I'm like,
Now,
I
but
can
what if
control
he
watch
does
this.
something
You can control
one time?
say again.
What if
Hey,
he just
watch
does- 'cause
this.
he does something one time, get caught. There's some people who did something bad that one time and got caught, and because they went to the wrong judge, they get the book thrown out.
Growing up, my job is to give you the best possible options to have a best life. You do not have to do anything that's criminal. That's gonna land
That's
you in
right.
jail. You don't have to do it. Now, so if you go and do that, hey, again, if it's one time, well, I don't know. Because
I think when you think about a child, like I remember years ago, I had a dream about my daughter, and I had a dream she had a roommate, a white roommate, and in this dream she supposedly had killed the roommate, right? So I go to the house, the apartment, because she called me crying, and I'm like, boo, what's going on? What's going on? And she's like, Mom, I think I killed her. And I see the little white girl sitting there dead. I'm like, oh, she didn't kill her. And I'm like, all right, boo.
What you gonna record now?
About ways to get rid of the body. I'm like, let me call my brother John. Let me try to figure this out now. Don't worry about it. Boo, just go. Try to go get some plane tickets real quick before anybody catches on. Do you know this girl? Leave her cell phone here. You know what I'm saying? Let me go scout and let me see if there's any cameras. Like, I'm doing all this in my dreams. Because I'm like, I got to get my baby out of this situation. I can't let her go to jail.
And you would go to jail
thinking,
too.
all right, if it gets caught, let me go up and say, let me take the blame for her.
Let me ask you guys this our question. Let me ask you this our
I ain't
question.
taking blame nobody. If I ain't do it, let me take out.
It's mother's love.
She said that I'm helping her get rid of the body. Oh my Lord.
I'm like, there you go. Cause you know, well, matter of fact, a rapper got caught, did something, and then his father tried to help him get rid of the evidence. And guess what? The cops were going to say, if you don't tell us what happened, you can get charged with accessory after the fact. And guess what? The father talked. I would have talked to him.
I know he did.
I ain't
I'm
going to
like,
jail for
you know
nobody.
what we did? At 10:05, he came out with some bloody clothes on.
Nah. I would take
I
it with
ain't
my
gonna-
daughter. I would now, and she was like
You gonna go to jail for?
But yeah,
You going to jail for? Are you literally gonna go to jail for
She
it?
said now, well, when is it, 10 years?
No, jail wouldn't last in jail. So I know I would have to go. I could handle jail. I think I could take going jail a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I just got to get me with the right crew. You know what I'm saying? I might have to fight a little bit. That I just feel like I'm back in Newark.
Okay, look at this.
Hey, she gonna get used to them bologna sandwiches.
Look, I like me a nice bologna sandwich now. I'm like,
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. I ain't going to jail. Hey, listen to this. Listen to this. I've been. Yes, I can say this now because it's over with. I got to make sure I say this right because I don't want nobody to look at me crazy.
We not. Go ahead.
I've been directly involved with the murder scene.
Okay.
Let's say
Okay.
it that way, right?
Mhm.
This is when I thought I was hood and gangster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been at the scene of several brutal beatdowns.
Mm.
Oh.
I gotta say beatdowns.
Yeah.
Told y'all, Law and Order Isaac.
Hey, so watch this, right? But there was only one that I had to go to court for.
Mm.
Mm.
Listen here. I was the driver.
Oh.
I didn't know what was going on.
The getaway car.
Only thing I know is that I heard my door open and then the ding because I had a Nissan Maxima back then. I said only thing I heard was door was open and then I heard a whole bunch of shooting.
Mm.
That's all that I heard. So that was my story and I'm sticking to it. So, so that was my story and I'm sticking to it. For real. So, but I'm not going, and even that, I even told myself, and I used to joke with Saveda about this, I'll never go to jail. I'll never do anything to put me in the position to go to jail.
Yeah.
And the reason that I say that is because that my physique is, it's, I know day one I probably
You're not
get
jail
out.
proof.
Listen here.
He got hips. He got hips.
Play your games.
Look at this. Look at this. And I, because I had got this athletic body back in the day, man. Look, I ain't going to jail for nothing. Because I know I've been there fighting. Hey, I've been there fighting for my life every day. But I also say that. But I also say this. I have had some things done to me in life that, the vindictive side of me, right? It caused me to go there and go to a deep, dark place. If I can keep myself from doing something out of a deep, dark place,
Yeah.
then and my child know this, then who am I to go to see them in jail when they've done something and they know when I've taught them these tools on how to get there, that nothing in this life is so serious that you have to jeopardize your freedom.
Yes.
Hey guys, have y'all watched the Little Richard movie?
Oh no, I haven't watched it yet. No.
I think I've seen that years ago.
Please.
Yeah, years ago.
It's on
years ago.
Well, watch it again. Watch it again.
Wait a minute, now you are talking about Little Richie, the singer, right?
Right.
Yeah. I saw that years ago.
I think it's a great show due to Little Richard and the guy that's playing his dad.
Mm.
I think that is a great movie to watch, especially for fathers to watch. I won't tell the story if you haven't seen it, but I think it's a good show to watch. Talking about children, and the way he grew up and the signs and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, see, I think when it comes to even my lifestyle, I would never do anything to bring dishonor on my father. The Bible says, "Children, honor your mother and father." And this is where we make children got to say, let me make decisions to not just for what I want to do, because this is what we live in society now and say, oh, I got to do everything that makes you feel good. No, you must understand that when you make a decision, child, you are affecting the whole family. You are. I heard a story of a child who committed suicide, and his mother had not even recovered from it yet.
Mm.
And this again, and as parents, and this child has a particularly good life because his father does well. Got a couple businesses, they're doing well. And again, so we must teach our children that when you make decisions, you must understand that every decision you make affects everyone in the family. So I always do my best to not do anything that's going to bring, I haven't done everything correctly. I've done a lot of crazy things. I got caught. And haven't made newspaper. So, but
Tracy, when if you need help, Tracy? When if you need
but always think about that. I said, no, I don't want this to get out to my dad because I think my dad would be so disappointed. I remember one time I got arrested because I got caught attempting joyriding in a stolen car when I was younger. And I was so terrified. I was so sad because, again, I know my parents didn't raise like that. Mm-hmm. And for my dad to come down to the station and get me out of jail. And the only reason why they didn't like take me to jail and my friends to jail is because my dad was a preacher. And some of the police officers knew my dad.
Use that influence.
Yeah.
The PK card.
Yeah, so
Thank God.
So yes, so again and again. So, but I think but again, so again, as parents, it's a tough job. And I think, and I want to say this.
One more thing before we leave tonight,
Yeah.
guys. I think parents, no matter what race you are, have an open communication with your children now, because it made me think about I was watching the news yesterday how the 10-year-old committed suicide at school because he was bullied.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to open up a dialogue where our children are able to tell us what's exactly going on,
Right.
and especially the fathers, because we as women, y'all have to stop saying, well, don't be a punk, and trying to make him all hard and stuff. He has to have a communication law with his father to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
School, because there's no way a 10-year-old should have been killing himself. He shouldn't even know anything about how to do that. So what's going on inside of him? He was hurting that bad. He wanted to die.
I also want to say this though, to that point. I think we gotta really go a little deeper, saying we need to teach people who to listen to.
Yeah,
that's true.
The problem is that suicide. I don't think suicide is not. It's not a mental health issue. That's not, because that goes deeper than mental health issue. That goes to a heart issue. No, I'm for real. That goes to a heart issue because
it's a heart issue. He said heart issue.
Because when you say I want to kill myself, that means that you have given up fighting for you.
But at 10 years old, I mean, your brain is ain't fully developed yet.
I understand that, but again, at 10 years old, the question is though, even at 10 years old, who you listen to. Now again, we don't. The challenge that we don't know the parents, how that relationship was. Did that parent have an open dialogue with that child?
I think too at home, I think you should be telling your kids, so and so, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you can go places. Your sons, you're handsome, you're smart, whatever it is, be constantly feeding them positive things.
But what if the child is ugly?
But
if the child's ugly, you still want to tell them?
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
Don't set them up for the okie doke.
Joy, shame on you, Joy. Beauty is deeper than skin deep.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There's even some ugly chicks that got men. Why do Halle Berry can't even keep one? So think about that.
So what I would say this: what amazed me about a 10-year-old committing suicide is, what have you been listening to, and how's it that you can conceptualize murdering yourself when you haven't even understood what it is to be happy with ourselves? I also think about what someone mentioned, bullying. Social skills today is not the social skills that we had back when we were growing up. Social skills are crucial because we had bullies when we were growing up. Look, we knew how to band together and beat up the our bully, but we also knew how to look at the bully and be like, your words, what did we say? Sticks and stones may hurt me, but your but your words never. Those are things that we said, and even though those words were hurt briefly, but because we was able to say that little simple chant that your words would never hurt me, it actually permeated within our mind and said, and it told us, the negative words of someone should never hurt us. It will never hurt us. It will never get us to the point to where we want to take our own lives. Yes, I understand that it can hurt for a minute. It could cause us to be disappointed. But at 10 years old, is something more going on for a 10-year-old
definitely
to
Definitely.
conceptualize in his head that I need to murder. I need to self-murder myself.
But that's why I believe that even when children, because I don't think parents take into account that, because when we were younger, it was just somebody come tell you that all you had to worry about was 8:30 to 2:45. Now they're online.
Social media.
So if they have a phone or a laptop, they have to constantly hear these things. Everybody sees it. They see people laughing at them. And I'm like, we really have to start listening to children and get these children therapists. Like,
or how about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this?
Get depressed. I know.
How about
Yes, they do.
Well, how you get depressed? You
Don't
pay
even
no
get them
bills.
social media.
You don't do this.
How about this? How about this? We need to start watching our children, because a lot of parents, they don't watch their children.
No.
I mean,
You
me
gotta
personally,
realize
video
that most
games.
of
me personally, when I when I say get a cell phone,
are
I'm putting apps on there,
kids.
everything. I would know. I'm gonna know what's being text
Well, by
messaged.
the grace
Listen.
of God, your son has a 2-family household, and your wife was able to stay at home. There's kids who mother got 2-3 jobs, so she can
again,
over their head.
I'm
She
saying that.
can't watch them all
I understand
the
that.
time.
I'm saying no.
Savannah, how did you do it?
Yes.
How did you do it? Because Joy just said that there may be a parent that got 2 or 3 jobs and that can't
Well,
watch
her
their
kids,
children like that.
social media
So how
wasn't
did you
out
do
then.
it?
Her kids around my age. Social media
Yeah,
No.
wasn't
back
out like that.
then, when my kids were growing up, it was MySpace. But for me and my children, it was love in the home. I made sure my kids knew that. Matter of fact, my kids.
Well, they let
I
you
was
in
the type- I
on
was
some
the
of my
type of
secrets now,
parent-
though.
I was the type of parent, if someone messed with my kids, they came home and told them we put their butts together. I'm
Okay,
going
mama
to-
got fighting.
back then.
Nah, but that's true.
Oh, get my mama.
Today. Angelica had one incident. I think she was in middle school, and this girl was bullying Angelica in school, then online. Angelica came home and told me, and I'm like, all right, boo, up, you got to give her the hands. Give her the hands.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what your teachers say. No, nothing. If they got a problem, I'll go in and I'll see them. And of course, the girl came because I think she was from New York and she moved down to Cliffwood, so she thought she was like, I'm big bad. And I'm just like, all right, let's do it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Jell fought this girl. The girl went up and hit my door. Yeah, had a whole fight. School called me, and I'm down there acting like the whole gorilla because I'm trying to tell them, like,
Gorilla?
how in the world you gonna
In
tell me
Cliffwood
my
Beach.
daughter gonna get suspended? And this girl was bullying my daughter, and I told them, I was like, let me see the little girl, and they was like,
Right.
man, we can't do that. I'm like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, and I told her, I was like, the next time this happened, I want y'all to call every police officer in this county. Because if I got to come back to the school about my daughter getting bullied, and trust me, everything getting tore up. Everybody going to be on
Everybody.
Well, see, to me,
Everybody.
look at this. If that was my child, I'm going to the school. I'm saying, I want to talk to some parents.
They won't let you.
They won't let you talk to the parents.
At least that
Yeah.
assistant
I'm going to the school.
Hey, because look, when my son got to fight in school, they wouldn't let me out to talk to him.
If I have to, I'll call a lawyer up, and I want to talk to some parents. Because my son come home once again, somebody getting bullied. I'm gonna come take care of myself.
Nah, I just taught my son I taught my son how to fight. I taught him some offensive and some defensive moves, and I put him on them weights. And once them hands got stronger, and that joker got a little strength behind him, and he cold clocked one guy one time. That's all it took.
Yeah, it don't take much.
That's all
I
it
know
took.
one of my cousins
That's all
was
it took.
getting bullied in school. And because, he's kind of quiet or so forth. He was getting bullied by this one kid. And my cousin, too, he was like in karate or whatever he was doing. And my cousin said, go ahead, hit me in my stomach just one time. The boy hit on my cousin in the stomach. My cousin didn't flinch. And that was it. No longer. So I think some kids feel they can bully other kids who may be shy, quiet, or might not fight back.
Yeah.
So they think they can pick on them.
I'm gonna
But
go
once
to
they
school.
fight back,
I'm gonna go to school.
Remember,
And
the
I'm gonna show
moment
him
you
the school.
knock the bully out, it's the
I'm
moment
gonna
that the
I said,
bully stop
next
bullying
child
everybody else.
that touch my son, there's gonna be a problem. I'm saying, I said, if I'm giving you a warning, principal, the next child,
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
it's gonna be a problem.
But you please know that the principal ain't gonna want to talk to you.
I will call a police officer.
Hey.
Police officer, the next child that touched my son, there'll be a problem. I'm giving you forewarning, so you can't get mad at me.
Can't get
I give you
upset.
forewarning.
You know.
Hey.
It is
knew.
what it
You
is.
better call their parents.
They knew Courtney Dan mom was a straight fool. So, you know what?
She was hood then.
Ain't gonna have them problems.
She was she was hood then.
Look.
I didn't even know me back then, but the school knew me. I did not play. I did not play about that, honey.
But
Hey,
there's a lot.
hey.
There's a lot of kids being bullied. Like I hear of a lot of children being bullied, and then they got to come home and they see the bully thing
Well,
online.
I think that's what
like,
parents.
that's just too much.
I think part of parenting is make sure your child feel protected, have some security. I would tell my son in a minute, if I have to, I'll come to the school. I will show up in the school.
Right.
I would.
When they were little like that, my kids was the type of kids like, I'm going to get my mama. And everybody in our neighborhood knew what that meant.
I just show up unannounced. I don't need to tell nobody I had to take time of work. I'll go.
But what I'm telling you is they're not. Trust me, I wanted to see the little girl.
Okay.
And then I wanted to see the mother. If the mother was in there, I wanted to see the mother. Because I think the little girl told everybody, like, yeah, her mother came and she was talking all this stuff, but my mother wasn't there. And I'm like, Angelica, let that little girl, she better ask about me. Okay?
Yo, if I get word my son being bullied, it's time to give me a gun license.
Oh my God.
I already have one, Josh.
Time to get a gun license.
No, you know what? The bullets be traced back to you. You need to go buy a gun off the street.
No, this story online, right? No, story online. No, this story online. The boyfriend
Bullets can't be traced to you.
came to the father's house, came to the girlfriend's house, and the father said, "Leave our house," and he kept telling him, "Leave our house," and the boyfriend kept trying to keep him. And guess what? The father shot him. I'll do the same thing. I'm like, you still.
Hey, you know, I'm thinking about parenting. What happens when you got your son and your son has gotten taller than you, and they think that they ready to test their manhood?
They could beat you.
Yes. What do you think?
But I think most guys have that. I think women have that too. I think
I never had it.
I know one of my
Yeah, I
customers
never had
said she was
that.
actually scared of her son.
I wasn't that
So it's
stupid.
true.
Okay,
Well,
so
but he put that fear in you
okay,
early,
so
though.
did
Yeah, I never
so
had that.
did everybody see?
My kids are more like, Mama, you let me know if I touch you in any kind of negative way. Hey,
Listen,
look, we even
her
got
oldest son has taken keys to the house.
Yeah, we even got
He took
cold
keys to the
words.
house.
Hey, we got cold words. He said, Mama, I don't know this nigga. He said, if Isaac ever mistreat you in any kind of way or hit you, you
He
call
trusts me now.
and we got a code word, and I'm on the road.
Hey, he trusts me now.
She sent me a text. I just want
Hey.
to know.
Hey,
Hey,
she already know that he better come correct.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
Yeah, knock on the
hey,
door.
she already know.
Wait a minute, guys.
Hey.
As a matter of fact, before I moved here, like it was a long time before my son actually came to the house. So before he came to the house, in his mind, because he don't know Isaac like that. This was about 3 years ago. He said he'd imagine me living. You know how them houses be off in the woods and ain't no other house. I thought that's where I was living at. I was like, no, son. And then when I said, like, I'm in the basement now. So he said, like, when he used to call and he'd be like, what you doing? I said, in the basement watching TV. He'd be like, the basement. He said, Isaac don't lock you up. I said, no, boy. But me and my kids are very, very tight like that. Like they are very protective of the mom.
Hey, tell him that when he come, he better come correct, because you know I'm a straight fool. Okay, but anyway, hey, did you guys see the video on? Did you see the video that was on Instagram of these 15-year-old child
that tore his mother house up?
that tore his mother house up?
Yo, when I think that was like, he would have been dead.
I think that's a lack of respect. I think it's lack of respect.
But
I
he's mentally challenged as
Yeah,
well.
I
I
don't
don't care how many.
I don't care. That's like a
Okay.
respect. That's like
Listen
a
to
respect.
this. Listen
You
to
gotta-
this.
I'm like, you gotta sit your
I
80
don't
80
care.
behind.
I don't know. I don't
You gotta
care
die.
how mentally challenged that you are.
Exactly.
He coming in a Honda. Cool shit.
Exactly.
It's gonna take everything within me
Nah. You
to
gotta
keep
die.
me from.
Look at this.
Hey,
We
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
tear
say
it
it like
up.
this:
We tear up fighting because
we going to jail. You going to jail for the federal, because that's a felony level. That's a felony level of destroying property. You going to jail because of that, and I'm going to jail because I put you in the grave.
I'm like,
No,
to me,
no,
for
I
me,
You gonna be
if that was
dead in
my
the
child,
jail.
that I don't, because I don't have patience. I my patience is so short. Like I can be the greatest person, but you only got
Yes.
this much to try me. And even as my own child, I threatened my daughter one time. I heard talk to my mother crazy, and my mother was shocked. Like, how you gonna talk to that little girl? Like, I'm like, yo, she talked to you like she crazy. You my mother. I told her I'll fight you. Let me hear you talk to my mother like that. I'm taking you on the street and I'm gonna fight you like you some chick off the street. Don't you ever talk to my mother like that.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think
I don't have the patience. So when I seen that apartment, I was like, knowing me, as soon I would have automatically flipped out. I would have been able to sit there and record.
look,
At
in my
the end,
house,
I would have to record like saying like, yeah, guys, I killed my child, but look what he did. This would be the
Josh,
video.
Did you see the video, Josh? Did you see, Josh? Did you see the a video?
not heard about it. I ain't like
You
look at
didn't
it.
see
I heard about it.
It's
I heard
crazy.
about it.
Hey,
I told you
Joy,
about
make sure
that
you send it to him.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Even broke-
Well, no, I'm sorry,
Look at-
Tracy.
look at-
Tracy, make sure you show him that video, Tracy.
Look at-
Just
look at-
make sure you show him.
this is what I believe.
Mhm.
As parents, your job is not to be their friend. Your job is to be their parent, and you
Yes.
teach them respect me. You respect me at
Okay,
a
but
young
what
age.
happened?
Yeah,
What
now,
would you do if he
Josh.
trashed
now-
your house?
Say again.
Now,
Broke your house. He
Well,
broke
look,
every window.
look. No one yells in my house. The only person that yells in my house is me.
I can tell.
We're not even
Hey,
getting far. We're not.
look at this. Hey, Josh. So look at this right now. Granted, we don't know the full backstory, right?
Yeah.
And we know the backstory come out. We do know this. The mother had someone that she thought that she could confide in, and it was that friend that she sent the video to. She sent the video to a friend to show what the son did, and the confidant is what exposed what happened on social media, which caused the mother to come out and say, "Well, now you want to know who it is. It's me." Now, do I think that is something? I don't know the full story, but do I think there's something deeper? Yes, there's something much deeper, and I think someone said that he was mentally challenged. So, if that is the case, your mentally challenged can only go but so far.
No doubt.
And I do have a right to put you somewhere clinical so that you could no longer do this again.
Oh, I could put you in the morgue.
But I know somebody else that dealt with that level too, but they would have to explain how that they dealt with it, and
Okay,
I
so let
do
me
know-
ask you, so how Saveda, if your son or daughter did that to your home, how would you respond?
Definitely calling the police. He would have to go into a facility and and I'm sure that child probably was off his medication if that's the case, but definitely that's something that me working in psych for many years, it's definitely something that I don't care how much you love your child, you cannot help him by yourself. So I definitely would have sent my child to a facility until he got
gotta go,
under control.
and you ain't coming back.
Because I watched the video from before the mom even spoke, and I was in disbelief. The first thing I said when I seen it, I said, that's mental health. Because when you get to the point of breaking a toilet, and
That
Oh,
joker
yeah.
broke the toilet.
But
He
again,
broke.
Yeah.
He broke a
we-
marble island. He
We're not
broke
going
a
there.
marble.
We're not
So-
getting that far. The problem is, listen. The
But let me
problem
ask
is that
Tracy, hold on. Trey, what would you do if Joshy, one day you come home and Joshy just tore up your house?
it
You
won't,
talking
it won't
about when
get
he's
that far.
older, or you talking like not
Josh,
like
let
when
me
he's
ask you,
older?
what you
She
think?
said, Tracy.
Right?
Somebody silence Reverend Jane. Who's Where's the mute button?
Go ahead, Trey. What would you do?
Well, I agree with Saveda. I think that was definitely something mental. I don't think that was just a kid having a bad day. And I think when somebody's in that zone, I don't think a beating or anything would really do anything. I think it might make the situation worse. So I would put my child in a mental institute or whatever you want to call it, so he can get the proper help, talk it out and what have you. Because a beating, taking away toys, whatever the case may be, I don't think that would help. Because I don't think it was just like a regular bad kid.
Right.
Yeah, so nice.
Let me say,
Saveda, if I'm correctly, he did that because his cell phone was taken, right?
Yeah.
Or his gaming system was his cell phone was taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, his cell phone was taken. Yeah.
But then I also think too, discipline, if you have a mental issue or if you don't have one, I think discipline should be, from, when they're little. No, this, and that, and the third. So I don't know if that parent was doing that from a very early age. So, you know what I mean? So
I'm saying this. So, like, what you see at that moment is probably something that has not been dealt with for years. Because though you have though you have mental health, even if you have a choice to let your mental health get out of control. Again, I'll tell my child, hey, I don't care how crazy you are, you better go take a nap. I'm telling you. You better take a nap. Or leave the house or run away to something. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to do that here. You don't want to do that here. Because I'm telling you, I'm not ready to tell you either.
No, I'm sorry. Hey, honestly, look, my child could no longer live with me.
So you'll put them away too in the psych ward?
Got to, because you look.
Y'all nice parents.
Look at this. Yeah. As much as we love our children, as much as we would like for them to make the right and the proper decision, if we do not teach them consequences to negative actions, then they will continue throughout life of doing those negative things and thinking that they are never have to reap the repercussions of them. Yeah. And being that, because we don't know everything of the story, but we will just call it that this was a mental thing. You gotta go. That's you have destroyed my peace. Mm-hmm. You've destroyed my peace.
We talking about Isaac. He can't even deal with his grandbabies.
My home is my peace. My home is my peace. But you destroyed the place that is my peace. You destroyed everything that I'm providing for you, the shelter that I'm providing for you, the food, because he dumped the fridge and I threw the fridge on the ground.
Pull the stove out.
Pull the stove out. Broke a toilet. Like, you have taken away the shelter, the food. You've taken that away from you, and then he broke out a whole window. But you have destroyed every single thing that I'm providing for you, and to make sure that you good, you have taken all the way. No, you look. Once I send you where you go, you not coming back. I'm just being honest. Now,
I'm gonna have to send you to hell because you broke my piece. I'm gonna break you into pieces. Okay, this is the equation.
I'm saying you won't come back.
Yep, you ain't got to worry about it.
Oh man,
you want to be devil, I'm gonna send you right to hell.
I think parents, we need to teach our children respect. Respect me. Respect I respect my parents. Again, I wouldn't raise my voice at my dad. I wouldn't do it now. Because I respect him. And I think
I know you wouldn't. He had a 2x2.
Yeah.
So that's a Johnny Armstrong now.
Yeah, but I think when we see stuff like that get out of control, it's because of years and years and years of things being let out of control. Like, again, that's a progression. What we see is a progression, I believe. Even if you got mental health, you can have mental health but still not act like that. Yeah. Because you respect. You say, no, I'm. We at a certain age, okay, I'm getting kind of flustered. Let me go take a nap. And again, you need to learn that, But again, this is parenting. Again, parenting don't come with a book.
No.
But again, there's no excuse because there's other people that have parent before. And if
Right.
you're dealing with that kind of situation, if you have a child with mental health issues, go talk to other parents that have dealt with children with mental
Yeah.
health issues. There's a lot of support groups. Don't be ashamed. Your child is not the only one, and your child will not be the last, and you won't be the only parent with children, with probably awkward, bad behavior or mental health issues. So don't be ashamed. Get help. Talk to somebody. There's many support groups out there that can assist you at being the best parent you can do. And again, don't take it hard on yourself. Because you can teach all your children to do all the right things, and they still go out and do the wrong things. And after that, you say, hey, I provide you with this. I provide you these opportunities, but you still go choose to do other things. I can help you. I can help you now. So
On my own.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson or Kevin McCarthy is one of them to sing that song. No, that was Pete. What his name?
Pete Daddy.
That I sung the song on my own. Because you gonna be on your own.
yeah. Hey,
You gonna be
so
on your
You're gonna
own.
be dead.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey Josh, I did send you the actual link so you can watch the video.
And he's 12 years old too. Oh, come on. Yeah.
No, 15.
No, they need to correct that. He was actually the mother
15,
corrected
yeah.
it. He's 15 years
He's
old.
15
and he's
years
6
old,
foot. He's 6 foot.
He's
something,
6 foot
she said.
6. Six
Woo!
foot 6.
See, that's when mom should have had a gun. So, know what, son?
Yep, because I had to put some lead in that.
Say,
I
hey,
take that big bear
you-
down.
you-
Okay,
hey,
Mr. Grizzly.
hey, you don't take your meds. You don't take your meds. I'll
I
take care
gotta
of it
put
for
some
you.
hot lead in you at this point.
Listen,
I love
I
you.
would have had an axe.
Self-defense.
Yep.
I would have
I'm
asked.
like, officer, he came charging at me.
You
Look
start
at what he
throwing-
did. Look
You
at
start
what he
throwing
did.
stuff. Hey,
Look at the house. Look, officer, you see my house?
I run to the room and start shooting in the room. I was scared for my life.
I'm telling you, I'll find some way. Nah,
I'm like, you make sure I have
Yeah.
your health insurance, your life insurance paid up. So don't worry about it.
Look, that'd be an L I had to take. I just have to shoot that little sucker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So you're trying to say if
down.
little Angelica did that, you would what would you do?
First of all, Angelica ain't crazy, but if she ever became crazy enough to destroy anything that I have, I'm gonna beat the brakes off. And because she's so little, I can take Angelica. I'll beat the brakes off of Angelica. Okay, Angelica will be in the hospital. She'll be on the sick and shut-in list. Okay, for months.
Yeah,
Because
see,
I'm wiring all this shit.
if my
Hey,
son gets
Josh.
6 feet, if my son gets 6 feet, 250 pounds, I'm going to give him a gun license.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
definitely gonna reach
Hey.
6 feet. He's definitely gonna
Hey,
reach
it said that. Hey,
I'm having a case. Break in case of emergency.
hey, it says that he's 6 foot, 270 pound, mentally ill.
Yes, he's telling me the gun license.
So,
Yeah.
Said, break in case he don't take his meds.
Even with Meg, Joe. Nah. I had to,
so look, the mother did not. Okay, so it was rumored and said that he did that because his cell phone was taken, but the mother never gave the reason of why that he destroyed the house.
She said
She
he's been
did
doing
say-
that it's for 15 years. So I
doing
guess
what? Tearing up a house?
yeah, the behavior.
If he been doing this for daggone 15 years, tearing up house up like this,
That's called no respect.
and you
That's
ain't
called no
got him.
respect.
And no, but because the mother did say that he's mentally ill, but even mentally ill people know the limitations of where that they can go. So Josh, I agree with you that it was unchecked behavior, and because it was unchecked, that it went to another level each time.
Yeah.
Because the very first time that something like this happened to the house, I give you a pass knowing that you're mentally ill. The second time, no, you tested me. The third, hey, it ain't gonna be no third time. It ain't gonna be no third time because you're gonna be up out of here. So, and just now watch this. Just imagine what were the things that he did
Yeah.
beyond
Yeah.
that was before this
Never
atrocity.
recorded.
That was never recorded. Exactly.
Even as a child, you teach it. If your child have mental issues, you teach them how to cope, how to curb the behaviors. Because again, if it goes unchecked, this is what happens when they get turned 250 6 feet, 250 pounds. They think they can rule the house. But I'm saying though, again, I also think I go back to it, lack of respect. Back in the day, children had respect for the parents. We got children stabbing grandma. Come on.
Yeah.
Grandma,
I wish somebody would stab my grandma. I beat the brakes off of them kids.
Listen.
Jesus knew he had to send me Angelica because I'd be in a jail cell right now trying to smuggle a cell phone, trying to talk to you.
Listen.
from
My child.
Cell block 5.
Exactly.
Hey, my son tried me one time. No lie, my son tried me one time. Once I caved his chest in, that took. What you do to me? What you do to me, Dad? Hey, that joker felt it. Guess what? He never came back.
Yeah,
I
He
think
never
guys
came
do that
back.
because they gotta try to see.
I never tried my dad. I ain't that stupid.
I ain't never tried my dad.
I was smarter than that.
Well, I think for some kids, if they feel like they can take them. See, y'all never thought y'all could take that. 'Cause
my dad's from Georgia. He's about what? He's about 6 feet, something like that.
he's like
about 6 feet.
6'1", 6'2".
But he's one of Georgia country boys.
Yeah,
He's quiet.
He was
He's quiet, but don't mess with him.
No.
If you want
Man,
an
listen,
old
tell you
school grown man,
Let me give you a quick story. Last story. Let me go. Look at this. One time, right? My brother, right? My dad's a pastor, right? So my brother, he had to argue with my mother, right? And they was in Newark, and my dad was up in Keyport at the church. So he got mad at my mother. My mother called my dad, and then my brother came driving down to Keyport to my dad. My dad's at church in the study, and my brother, I was in church too. So my brother came in and started getting loud. My dad. All I knew that my dad got out of his chair and just put my brother up against the wall. Boy, I'm like, I'm like, I'm gonna go.
that's tap. That's where tap come out, boy. Oh,
Hey.
tap. He in there.
He did that in the church.
Still in there.
He did that in the.
wow.
He put him against the wall in the church.
My
My
dad
brother-
don't play.
I guess my
Hey.
brother he's right. Always hangover, and my brother went back home, I guess, and just dealt with the stuff because I think my mother took something from him that he wasn't supposed to have, and he got mad at my mother, and then he went down to my dad and tried to like do the same argument, and my dad got up a seat and said,
Hey, I knew my
I
oldest
know.
brother. Hey, I knew that my oldest brother had messed up when I came home from my work, and my dad had that 38 to his head. I'm like,
Oh Lord. Your father like me. I brought you in this world.
what's
and I
going
said,
on? Hey, guess what? He never came into the house after that. That joker had to go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Boy, when Dad had that snub nose 38 special to his head,
it probably told everybody
Boy,
else.
what did you do, boy? Like literally, I'm looking at it like, boy, what did you do?
It happens.
Hey, my dad said, pack your ish and get the up out of here because you can't come back.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
You
wow.
can't come back.
Yep.
Oh,
so-
wow.
He never came back neither.
Never came back.
Never
Not to
came
visit
back.
nothing.
Yeah, he came to visit, and then he the only reason why he came back, he came back to visit. He decided to take responsibility to some things that he did to get him incarcerated. So he had to do probation. He had to do probation in Birmingham, and the only place he could stay was my parents' house. So. So he did that until he got his probation transferred to where he currently lives. And so once they approved the transfer, he left immediately after that.
Okay. Well,
So,
Yeah.
but
again, he learned respect your parents from you.
now,
Right?
watch
Yes.
this. Watch this. That was last time that me and my oldest brother have seen each other face to face. And even though that was our last time seeing each other face to face, that I almost beat him up then too. So
we're talking about the next time, sibling rivalry.
Right?
So sometimes you gotta step to
Lord have
them.
mercy.
yeah, bro, you're right. You gotta step to them when they come incorrect. You got to.
Yep. But guys, so it's like almost an hour and a half.
It's an hour and almost 45 minutes. That's crazy.
This been fun, good conversation. I'm sure that somebody will get some tips, from this. Maybe get a snub 38.
If you got anything from this live, get you a gun.
Just in
Okay?
case.
Parents, get you a gun. That's what you learn.
Oh, boy.
I think it's something is open and carry. So get your holster and walk around the house and go and try something.
I wish
Hey.
you would.
Hey, Josh, I don't know, because if I ever come home and where everything is stashed at throughout this house, I know something's up. Then I got to go to my secret stash that is unknown.
I'm
about.
on the porch. Yo, guys, this is great, man. Let's wrap it up. Once again, I want to thank you all for coming on. I want to thank Saveda, Isaac. Saveda for sharing her stories about parenting and her journey. Once again, let's clap it up for Saveda. I mean,
Thank you.
you did it. Thank you. You did it. To Isaac, to my wife Tracy, and hey guys, I'm Reverend Jay. Hope you had a great time, enjoyment, and my co-host Joy.
Yes, guys. We will see you hopefully next Friday. We hope you had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. And we'll see you next Friday. And remember, never let anybody steal your joy. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See you later.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Good night.